Okay, we're going to talk about how to mine for points. How is it that you're going to take the score you have right now on your test and add to it more partial credit points? Okay, so here's what you need. You need your test. Now, I made up a sample of test 1, but this is take 2 of this video. So I'd already started to mark before I had technical difficulty. So you're not going to have this stuff here, but I'll talk about what that is later. So you need your test. You need the rubric, which is available on the class website. And it might be helpful, depending on how much work you showed, to also have available a copy of my solution. Those are the 3 things you need. You definitely need the rubric. You can't go anywhere without the rubric, and you're going to get back a copy of your test. Okay, so on this one, I look at my score, I go, 0 out of 8 points. That stinks. Well, hold on. That doesn't include any partial credit. So what you're going to do is kind of, again, ignore these circles, they're coming later. But you're going to kind of remember what you did on the test. You might want to look at my solution to see how what you did compared to my work. And most importantly, you need to look at the rubric, because that's where the points come from. And on the rubric, you'll see that there are things your solution had to show. Now, these are not things in your head. These have to be on your test solution, okay? You can't tell me, oh, well, I was thinking this in my head. No, this is why you have to show your work. And each one of these lines on the rubric is identified by a letter. Okay, so here's what you do. Look at your paper, your solution, and see, okay, did you demonstrate any of the understanding or steps identified in the rubric? And that's what I started to do before I had my technical difficulty. Because I go to my rubric in row A, and it says identifies at least 2 of the 3 X component forces acting on the block. I would get 1 point if I did that. And those 3 are the force of worker A pushing from left to right, the X component of worker B's force, which is kind of up and to the right, and max static friction, which is pointing to the left. Okay, well, this is where I was, and I said, okay, well, I've indicated that I recognize those were the 3 forces that mattered here. And so I circled here, and I was saying in my original take, I could also have circled right here because, hey, I've identified those as relevant forces in a free body diagram. So not only is a free body diagram good to help you orient yourself to what's going on in the problem, it can also indicate your level of understanding. So free body diagrams are good. Okay, so then I would also indicate an A there. You don't need to write the points down, so don't write +1. I'm going to review this, and I'm going to say, okay, you say you did A. Well, I'll see it right there. Okay, now what's next? B, did I recognize that the X component of worker B's force is his force, FB, times the cosine of the angle? Well, I'm looking. Okay, all right, here. I said XB is there, so I could either just circle that or, so I'm just going to do this little creative thing here. Okay, there's B. So there's another point that I would earn partial credit. Did I recognize that the maximum static friction force is calculated by mu sub s times the normal force? Okay, you bet. Okay, so there you go. So there's a point, and I'm going to label that as C. More points, let's see. Did I recognize that the normal force is equal to the gravity force down, equal in magnitude to the gravity force down, minus the help the floor is getting from worker B's pull, which is the Y component of that? Well, let's see. Here we go. So that would be letter D. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of continue on because I'm doing pretty well here. Did I recognize that the Y component of worker B's force is FB, his force, times the sine of the angle? And yes, that's here. So that would be E. And wow, I'm doing pretty well. Did I solve for FA, the force of worker A, by setting... Oh, well, I started this way. Okay, so I recognize that this, and anything that looks like this, okay? It did not have to be set up like this, but anything that says, look, I can solve for FA by taking into account the size of worker B's X component force and max static friction. Okay, and I did that, well, up here at the very top. I also did it here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that is F. So I am really doing well here. Okay, well, so why didn't I get full credit? Well, because I made a pretty bad math. Oh, I'm not going to circle that. Don't circle that. Okay, but I was okay. Well, I must have made a mistake, and I did. I made a math mistake, and so I don't get full credit because I did not present the correct answer. But look, I'm going to end up getting. So my revised score would be 6 out of 8 points. Okay, that's how you do it. You're going to do that for each of your problems. And then once you're done, you're going to basically, your test will already be stapled together, and you're just going to turn this back into the inbox by the due date. If you have any questions, come by and talk to me. I would be more than happy to go through some of the problems with you to help you find your points. Thank you.